Dire team ban.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Battle Central Europe Season 3. This is Game 2 between basically Unknown, aka Aftershock if you prefer, and the Lions. Currently, Lions up 1-0 in the series to decide who is going to be taking their leave and who is going to be moving on to the losers finals to face Virtus Pro Polar. For either of these two teams, it's going to be very difficult going up against VPP, but I think anyone in the world going up against VPP is going to be difficult, so there's that. I'm Mike Loris. I'm going to be joined by Grandis for this game number 2, and after game number 1, basically Unknown, maybe if they just draft a little bit safer, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Game number 1 at least surprised me. I think basically Unknown, especially inside the team fights, their execution was really spot on. Extra shout out to the Phoenix with that Lincoln Sphere blocking multiple dooms on the anti-mage. Pretty much kept them inside the game for as long as they did. So I think if they do go for a safer draft, game number 2 is going to be a lot easier for them to come away with the victory. With Brewmaster banned out instead of Ogre Giant in the first stage, Ogre is going to be a first pick in this game number 2.
And Magoma's Ogre Magi. The last series I casted basically Unknown, I believe versus Denial, got so many multicasts. It was disgusting how skilled Magoma was on the Ogre. So hopefully for basically Unknown's sake, Magoma is going to be a little bit hot today. Hopefully he has the stars aligned in his favor, because they're down a game and, well, they really need something to go right for them in this game. And it's certainly a safer opening than the Tusk first pick of last game.
Yeah, even though Tusk first pick is really risky, I think it worked decently well for basically Unknown. The defensive snowballs definitely were really useful for them, even though I think they kind of missed out on the aggressive potential early on. For Lions, they're going to start things off with the puck, and although they'd love to have Eventual Spirit to partner with that, it has been banned out. Although Lions are a team that are quite partial to the Draw Ranger lineup, and with 2 range heroes to start things off, could be potential to see that in the second picking stage, although probably basically Unknown are going to ban it out.
And if they don't, they're going to be really punished, because Lions are really good at running that Drow combination. And, well, with Witch Doctor Puck, it's not exactly the best heroes to open up with if you want the Drow Ranger, Vengeful Spirit instead of Witch Doctor. Then you're pretty much perfect. But if they don't ban it out, basically Unknown, then they need to get some serious answers. And even if they do, I've seen Lions come back from a huge deficits in the past just because of the strength of that combination. It's going to be a Broodmother for basically Unknown. That's the type of hero that you really want if you're going to be facing up against the Drow Ranger matchup, but it's also still worth banning out.
Yeah, it definitely is. Broodmother, kind of an interesting second pick from basically Unknown. Broodmother is kind of hit or miss. Basically Unknown, we're actually going to leave in the Drow Ranger, trying to secure Broodmother a safer time in this game by banning out the Legion and the Axe to make sure that no Blink Call counter Helix helicopter axe kill with Broodmother or the overwhelming odds, which is fair enough, I suppose, but Lions might be getting exactly what they want.
As nice as it is to protect your Broodmother, when you ban out these 2 heroes, you're really only protecting your Broodmother, whereas if you ban out the Drow Ranger, you're protecting your entire team against plus 40 damage, let's say, on everyone from Lions. So dangerous times are ahead for basically Unknown. I am so sure that Lions are going to grab the Drow Ranger now, and basically Unknown, they won't have another ban phase for a very long time. There's almost 0% chance that they themselves pick up the Drow Ranger. So when you have a situation like this as Lions, you're going to be deciding, do they actually, is it really a decision? Like, isn't it just a clear Visage Drow here for them?
It really feels like it. Yeah, I don't really see another option. Maybe they are considering this next ban. I'm kind of feeling the Storm Spirit ban from Lions. Basically Unknown do like running that hero, and it's really nice to have a hero to just zip right on top of that Drow Ranger to pull her back, but maybe they have something else in mind. Still, it does really feel like Drow Ranger and Visage is a high possibility, but then again, basically Unknown, a Visage might be useful for their side, but picking up a Drow is almost 0% chance. I think they'll pick up the Visage first.
Right, well, let's see what Lions actually decide to do. Broodmother looking pretty scary, and it's going to be a Storm Spirit for Lions. I actually really like that. It's going to protect their Drow Ranger pickup down the line, which I'm still assuming is going to be happening. And as you said, Storm Spirit is a great hero versus Drow Ranger. You zip right into her face, she loses her marksmanship bonus, and then you could just kill her off. But with the Drow Ranger, Storm Spirit's also a ranged hero, so he has a lot of extra damage, and right clicks from Storm Spirit and Puck now this is actually a pretty sweet move from the Lions. Let's just hope the Storm Spirit player is on point, because he already has some stuff to deal with in the form of Ogre Magi, Scarith Mage.
Yeah, and eventually maybe even Orchid coming up from the Broodmother. This is more than likely going to take away the Visage off of the table, but even without the Visage, Dro is a really solid hero in her own right. Just offering that much damage to your team is never really a bad thing, even though the Visage combination is pretty sick. But Lions, they're taking their time with this. Maybe we're overlooking something, or maybe we're just... I'm not exactly sure. I would have thought this is pretty straightforward Dro pick.
Well, Broodmother is really good against Drow Ranger. There is that. Like, if she has a BKB, Drow Ranger is not going to get away from Brood. She can't fight back because of incapacitating bite. And then if you get hit once with the bite, then you're just completely screwed. So it's a chance that Lions are going to just go completely away from the Drow Ranger, but... Okay.
Oh, you can't get any further away from Drow Ranger than the Spirit Breaker. Like, I don't think there is a hero as polar opposite. Drow Ranger wants to be cutting on the outskirts of the fight, sitting around, getting her damage off. Spirit Breaker wants to run headlong into the middle of it and wreck some face. I can't say I'm upset that Lions pick up a Spirit Breaker, but it definitely is throwing me for a loop.
Yeah, as you said, it doesn't get any more different than the Spirit Breaker. It is very good against the Broodmother, and I suppose Lions just are going to respect the power of basically Unknown and their ability to shut down the Drow Ranger. As we said before, execution from basically Unknown was pretty darn good in the last game, so Drow Ranger is definitely a hero that you could play around as long as you're playing your cards correctly. So maybe Lions are just going to go down a different route because of that, but Spirit Breaker, not sure if that's really what they want to be going for. I'm assuming it's going to be a pseudo-support Spirit Breaker along with the Witch Doctor. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a very interesting game. Basically Unknown, they're going to stick to the plan, though. Faceless Void, though not the best combination with Broodmother, great with Scarith Mage, great with Ogre Magi, and is actually able to survive the likes of Spirit Breaker, Storm Spirit Initiation.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty solid one at that. Drow Ranger's still on the table if Lions really want to go for it, but now with the Faceless Void as well, maybe that is a little bit less attractive. It seems like it would be okay, but instead they go for a Timber Saw, which also has its merits. This is going to make their lanes a little bit awkward. I'm not exactly sure how they're going to shake down. I'm kind of feeling off-lane Puck, mid Timber Saw, safe lane farming Storm. Basically Unknown are going to round out their lineup with a TA.
So TA going to be a heavy damage dealer, which basically Unknown would very much like to have, so I could see this TA getting quite a bit of work done. As far as sustained damage to burn through faction charges, Timbersaw really the only one, and if you mess up with the Chakram, if you block Whirling Death, if you block Timber Chain, then you're going to be very happy as the TA. So I think basically Unknown, their draft is definitely not looking the most conventional, but if this game does get to a late game stage, then TA faces Void Broodmother, good luck overcoming that. Lions, they have mobility everywhere. And that's really going to be the concern for basically Unknown. How do we lock down and kill all of these heroes with only Scarith Mage, Ogre, Faceless Void providing the CC? If they somehow manage to make that happen, if they get good Chronospheres, if they get good Initiation, if they get multicasts galore on the Ogre Magi, then it could be possible. Otherwise, Lions are going to be able to quite literally run circles around the Unknown side.
That said, I'll go ahead and introduce the Radiant side. We are going to have heading towards the offlane. Timbersaw, played by Jonas Sumfan. Currently heading towards mid, but probably not going to stay there. It's going to be Seal Kid on the Witch Doctor. Our other support's going to be the Spirit Breaker, handled by Hanskin, loading out with Boots first. 8 Mother's going to be playing on the Puck, and Storm Spirit by Ira.
And on the basically Unknown side, Kefka is going to be heading down south as the Broodmother. Going to maybe be joined as Magoma on the support Ogre Magi. Slavi is going to be playing the mid TA, with Zeroji on the Skywrath Mage up towards top, joining Mind Control as the Faceless Void. We already see Ogre Magi opening up with Boots first. There is a Spirit Breaker also with Boots first, although I would say Ogre with Boots probably a little bit more dangerous, a little more consistent than the Spirit Breaker. And Magoma's Ogre is pretty darn skillful, so basically Unknown. They are going to be running with what looks like dual lanes for now, although I would be surprised to see the Ogre stick down here. Normally, Broodmother does not need any help. Normally, she doesn't even want any help.
Yeah, I don't really feel that Magoma is going to be staying down here for long, and honestly, don't think he's going to be able to accomplish much else other than securing this rune down towards the bottom spot. Maybe, just maybe, if they isolate the Witch Doctor away from the rest of the enemy team, they might be able to get a kill, but outside of that, Ogre probably isn't going to be able to do much. Gets the Banner rune, it's now going to swagger his way towards mid and probably top.
And as far as shutting down the Timbersaw, the Unknown side will have a Seal. They'll have a Fire Blast. At a certain point, it's going to be enough when the Faceless Void gets bigger, but right now, Mind Control needs level 3 at least if they're going to get a kill on the Timbersaw, or they need Jonas and Van to massively screw up. And who knows, that is also very possible. Over towards mid, though, they're going to leave for now Lions a dual lane. Slavi is not going to have a good time here at all. Templar Assassin versus Puck, normally an okay matchup for TA, but going 1v2 as TA is never really what you want to have happen. Jonas Fan up towards top is already going to get beaten down quite early. No skills being spent by the Scarith Mage, or not many. And Ogre Magi showing off his power. Jonas Fan going to get locked down pretty hard. And as far as the lockdown towards bottom lane, there is no true sight here. So Kefka is going to have a free run of this lane.
Yeah, which is pretty bad for Lions. The Spiderlings aren't going to be reliable inside lane, and if you're not careful, you are going to feed quite a few of them over to Era, but we have a charge going towards mid as Slavi's incredibly low. He does have one charge of Refraction, but the Fog, it looks like it's going to be in their favor. He might be able to get the Refraction off first, and he does do so, but that charge wouldn't have done any damage. They blow him up with the Waning Rift. Dropping low, Seal Kid is being pursued by the Scarlet Mage, but not fast enough. Body box galore on his Roji, just can't move at all. They just need 1-2 more auto attacks. That's a double kill for 8 Mother, and now to the high ground, will Jaunt salves up and will survive. 2-0 for Lions.
And they actually use the bait of the Courier to bring back the Witch Doctor so that it's not a complete loss for Unknown. The Courier gets to live, although it's going to be wandering out with one more hit left. Slavi's going to collect a kill after, I'm assuming, using that Courier as bait intentionally. Either way, Lions do take the lead 2-1, and that was just pretty much the weakness of Templar Assassin in the very early stage of the game, being shut down even more by the dual lane situation, suddenly making it a tri-lane. And if you're going to be picking up a Spirit Breaker, that's the type of play that you need to make. Dive the tier 1, YOLO dive it, and just hope for the best. And I would say hoping for the best worked out pretty well for them because they come out ahead, they draw first blood, and it's going to be pretty smooth sailing from here on out. If they do that a couple more times, could be pretty nice for them. And Spirit Breaker, he's always ready to join the fight. And the fight might be happening over towards mid. No, it's actually going to be towards bottom at the exact same time. Slavi's going to join the fight, or actually Jonathan's going to join the fight rather. And Slavi trying to get a little bit more distance. The right click damage going to be pretty darn high. Haste rune on Jonathan, Timber Chain through, and the haste rune looks like he will die to a tower. Scarith Mage is going to draw that kill. Also Magoma joining the fight. Concussive Shot going to land a Seal Kid, making it a 2 for 1 in favor of Unknown this time. Magoma is the X factor there, but it's over towards bottom lane where Kefka is spotted out, dusted by Hanskin, I presume. Yes, he was. And Storm Spirit's going to collect that, making it 2 for 2 across the map. This game is going to be so freaking aggressive, and I don't think it's going to be stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, you can't really expect anything else from a Spirit Breaker game. Now with points up into all 3 of his spells, Hanskin's a one-man wrecking crew if he's actually able to connect. Up towards top, Jonas Sunfan, Mind Control, trading hits, salving up the Timbersaw, potentially looking for a turn, but Mind Control had a similar idea. Wolfsman are going to spend the salves, instantly canceled. Timber Chain through, but not enough damage coming up from Jonas Sunfan. If he gets bashed, could be in a lot of trouble, but Mind Control decides to time walk towards the creep wave to get a couple of CS there. Very awkward exchange, but now with a Ignite coming through from Magoma. Doesn't have the Fire Blast mana, but Timber Chain aggressive across Mind Control. Jonas Sunfan is going to be bashed down by the Void, as Mind Control on very low HP is going to be charged up. Only sitting on Tangos really would like to have a salve at this moment. I don't expect this Spirit Breaker to end his charge, even if it costs him his life. YOLOs are going to be had. Let's see if it's going to be cancelled by the Ogre Magi. Magoma really needs to be on the ball here with this Fire Blast. Nope, it's going to be just stopped, as the Scarith Mage was there.
Yeah, so Hanskin is going to be calming down for now, but Faceless Void really manning up, going toe-to-toe with that Timbersaw. Reactive Armor level 1, certainly very annoying, but level 2 bashing, and he got quite a few of them. Jonas Fan now going to go for Zeroji. Charges incoming as well, and the time walk in from Mind Control going to get instantly bashed by Hanskin. However, Jonas Fan is going to be the first one to fall. Timber Chain killed midway, would have gotten him a lot of safety. Hanskin going to get a lucky greater bash, and will kill off the Scarith Mage with that extra damage. Now dueling up against Magoma, gets another bash, Are you kidding me, Hanskin? He has another charge and 30 mana, but this cow is dumb. He's not going to have that for a very long time. Has support incoming in the form of the Witch Doctor, but he will fall back in the end. It's still a tied game right now, 5-5, and honestly, I have no idea who's coming out ahead in all of these exchanges, if anyone is coming out ahead at all.
Who knows? My goodness, that Spirit Breaker, out of 5 hits, he bashed 4 times. Hanskin must be praying to the RNG gods. As much as Magoma was multicasting earlier, I don't know, it seems to have changed sides. That Scarith Mage probably shouldn't have died there. He's currently charging down towards bottom onto Kefka with Dust in tow. Could be a very easy kill if they're able to connect. And they have a pull on the Storm Spirit. If Broodmother gets a little too comfortable down here, could be completely screwed.
She is going to see this base cow coming, and looks like the Spirit Breaker will cancel a charge. This will prompt TP in from the Ogre Magi. So far, Ira has been more or less untouched in this lane, farming up freely. Maybe a couple of those CS are Spiderlings. Probably they are, but Magoma's going to close in. Ignite plus a swarm of Spiderlings. Charge is going to clean all of that off of Ira, and that's going to mean enough time for Ira to get away. Now into Kefka. Hanskin's going to try to go. He has level 2 Greater Bash, but Kefka's going to get enough distance away, and in fact, salve up and turn around. Magoma, more mana, is going to Fire Blast Hanskin one more time. Couple right clicks will kill off the cow, and Spirit Breaker is going to fall. That was a brutal amount of damage from the Broodmother. It's so hard to evaluate how much damage those Spiderlings do because they're always so clumped up. But over towards mid, Seal Kid is going to be jumped, concussive shot, a couple more right clicks from Slavy will get Unknown another kill. And I think maybe Unknown getting a slight advantage after all said and done, but very slight.
Yeah, there's not really much else to say. Slight advantage is probably an understatement. Right now, it's about 1,000 gold advantage for Unknown. But if you look at the distribution of that, it's fairly even. They're charging Wigoma down towards bottom, but Spirit Breaker needs all of the bashes if he wants to kill off this Ogre, especially if Kefka is close. He doesn't have the largest of Spiderling armies, but it's going to have about 8 or so. And that's probably enough, and Spirit Breaker is just going to cancel that charge. In the meantime, Timbersaw up top, going to be silenced up, brought down by Zeroji as well as the Faceless Void. Also rotation in from the Templar Assassin, didn't see if she actually accomplished much.
So we were just saying how lucky the Spirit Breaker was to get his bashes. Faceless Void has also been praying. Like, he's been offering up goats to sacrifice. He's been doing the whole 9 yards because he's been getting a lot of bashes as well. He bashed Timbersaw mid Timber Chain. And that's just not supposed to happen. Over towards bottom tower, dropping dangerously low, but Spiderling's not going to fully commit to that yet. It's a nice move from Kefka, going to play it a little bit slower, a little bit safer for now. But now 8-5 Unknown. They're shutting down Jonathafan pretty hard. He's not getting that much farm, though he is getting his levels. There's no real way to interrupt that. 8 Mother will take down a tower in the meantime, though. And Magoma's wandering into the wrong neighborhood. He's going to try to go for 8 Mother, but he doesn't know that he's being charged right now. Fire Blast, not enough mana for Ignite, and now Hanskin is right on top of the Ogre. Coil to help out as well. Magoma going to Soul Ring, which is probably going to secure his demise as he tries to go for 8 Mother. He might get the kill on Puck. Phase shift, he dodges the last Ignite tick, and he will be just fine. Ogre Magi going all in, and unfortunately lost the pot, but now it's up towards top where Mind Control is going to drop a Chronosphere onto the Timbersaw, killing him off for the 5th time in this game. Jonathafan is not having a fun time as this hero.
No, that's kind of the expected death. Usually, Timbersaw at this point would probably have 1 or 2 deaths after that Chronosphere comes online for Mind Control. But yeah, as you said, this Timbersaw just not finding anything. Level 4, this is a time where Timbersaw really wants to start roaming and looking for those kills. Hopefully, he gets his level 6 soon, but this game is just not the case for him. The Scarif Mage is put a number onto him, especially if he gets bashed once or twice by the Void. Kefka is farming over in the sidelines. If you compare directly the offlaners, this Broodmother is having such a wonderful time. If you look at the 2 heroes, she died once, but that's about it. Ira is going to be spotted out by a handful of Spiderlings and the Spider Mother herself, silenced up. Now Ira and Ol, heap of trouble if they actually get this Fire Blast to connect, and it looks like they won't. He should be able to zip out if you're alive, and he will get down to the low ground. The damage from the Spiderlings and the Ignite just isn't enough. They'll turn the Fire Blast onto Seal Kid, and he's completely screwed. That's about 15 Spiderlings.
And well, top lane, the action isn't over yet because Mind Control is going to have to time walk away from Hanskin. Looks like he will be fine from this one. But the Storm Spirit, for some reason, didn't deny the bottom lane tier 1, and Broodmother is going to snag that one up. Though they don't really get what they came for, Unknown, they get a kill at least. And suddenly Kefka's holding on to 2,600 gold. He could buy up the majority of his Orchid right now, and he will buy, I guess that's not the majority of his Orchid, that's about half of his Orchid, plus boots. So Kefka is going to be going for the lockdown route, and I think up against Timber Storm, Puck, and even to a lesser extent Spirit Breaker and Witch Doctor, you really need to get that silence on the ground. But Kefka now has free reign of the lane, and really Lions have their hands full in everything, in all the other lanes right now. Like, wherever they go, Unknown are typically taking advantage. Like, up towards top, Jonathafan really doesn't want to be doing this. This is not the place for a Timbersaw. Hell, this is not the place for anyone. He's going to be beaten down in a hurry. Not really sure what the plan was there. It's not like Unknown have left the lane or anything like that. That was pretty obvious, but Slavy is going to be charged in the meantime. 8 Mother does not have a Blink Dagger to close this distance. Hanskin getting a couple greater bashes, but it's all absorbed by the refraction. Now he's in a little bit of trouble. Doesn't have another charge for another 3 seconds. Mind Control thinking about time walking down for a Chronosphere. Will land on it too, but he catches Slavy as well. Not really going to matter because they will kill off Hanskin. Now the question is, can they kill off 8 Mother? He's going to jump up to the high ground, and it looks like the Puck will be fine. Oh, maybe they come with a seal. It's going to be close. Yes, there's the seal. Needs like a first hit bash. Here comes Ira. He will not get the pull into mind control, however, burning the rest of his mana. Try to chase down this Faceless Void. Will probably get this kill in the end, and yes, Faceless Void will go down. A-Mother's still alive. A Seal Kid bailing him out with a nice chain stun of that cask, and now Slavi's being charged. Ira bottling up in the meantime, has more ball lightning. Zeroji might get a free pass out of here. In fact, he's being currently ignored by the enemy side. Orb will fly through, spot out Zeroji, which will kill him off in the end. Looks like Slavi is going to get out of there alive, perhaps. He has no mana for refraction. This Space Cow might just be enough to do it, especially if he gets more bashes. There's one. No, two? Do we see two? We see Ira. That's good enough. That's the death of Slavi.
All there is.
Yeah. In the meantime, Broodmother is dropping pretty low to the Timber Saw, but didn't lose very many Spiderlings at all. Most of them were farming in the sidelines. And for the most part, Timber Saw is going to be forced to stay in this bottom lane. It needs to be so careful. Jonas Sunfan going to be ripped. Oh my goodness, that Timber Chain. That sound of gold chipping into his pockets must have been orgasmic. My goodness, that was at least 10 Spiderlings.
So much cash, and just like that, Timbersaw is going to find an item. It's going to be a bottle, the classic 11-minute bottle rush on the Timbersaw. But the Kefka, he has to be really careful about not feeding too many Spiderlings away, because those things, though individually they don't give a lot of gold, it does add up when you have the likes of Timbersaw and Storm Spirit and Puck on the other side. So he has to be so careful about that. But over towards mid, we might see a little bit more action. There is, never mind, Ira's going to get himself out of there, and right now Lions, they're all in their base right now, looking like they want to smoke, looking like they want to charge out for something. But in the meantime, top lane, it is a farming hero. It's Templar Assassin just to get a free pass there, whereas Faceless Void, he's in the jungle with Mask of Madness already up. It's going to be bottom lane where the fight is going to be brewing. Kefka has a massive spider army, but I don't know how long it's going to last. Jonathan going to get multicasted, plus Mystic Flared. Ira going to jump right in. Look at all the Spiderlings. They're all going to die. Oh my god, so much gold. Even if Kefka survives, it's already a loss for Unknown, and they're also going to get Magoma on the way out. I don't know how many Spiderlings those were, but that must have been like 300 gold at the very least.
Yeah, I think that's a modest estimate. They give, I don't know, ballpark 10 to 30 gold a pop if you just average everything really flat. It doesn't actually matter much. That was at least 20 that got killed. That's huge. And then they lose 2 heroes on top of it. They kill off the Timbersaw, but Timbersaw is already having a terrible time. I don't think it actually matters. Charge up towards top on his Slavi. I don't think it's going to be followed through by Hanskin, but maybe he just really wants to go for this. He is going to get that first greater bash absorbed by the refraction, drops dust, but now with the Chronosphere turnaround, Hanskin's going to be bashed to oblivion with the Mask of Madness power treads. Faceless Void is going to kill off the Spirit Breaker. A-Mother should be able to escape out here alive. But yeah, that was a questionable charge. Even if it was just Slavi, I don't think they get that kill.
Sometimes you just got to go for it, man. Sometimes you just got to go for it. Just as Ira is going right now, Slavi this time has a meld, and he still has some more refraction, charges up, and there's no True Sight. As nice as it is to have True Sight on the Spirit Breaker, you really want to have True Sight on the Storm Spirit, or hell, anyone on Lions. They're fantastic heroes to have True Sight on, so I guess that is understandable why they don't, but the TA is going to get a free pass out of there. Over towards bottom, Jonathan just wants a little bit of leveling done, but he has to worry about Zeroji coming in with the Mystic Flare, as well as Kefka, who is going to have a Orchid very soon. And by very soon, I mean flying out to him right now. So Kefka is almost at the point where he could solo kill Jonathan. Needs a couple more levels of Incapacitating Bite or backup, and this time he will have the Orchid and backup. So if Jonathan runs into the spider, he will just die. Timbersaw has backup this time, so maybe he's going to live, but also Unknown, they have backup, and they're bringing it in with the rest of their squad. This is going to be a Roshan, actually. Slavi and Mind Control, they are going to be needed elsewhere because Magoma is going to get double bash to start things off, plus another strike. Magoma already down to half HP. Here comes Ira. Ogre Magi down. In the meantime, Kefka is going to try to go for Jonathan. Spiderling's doing quite a bit of damage, but 8 reactive armor, and Timbersaw is taking next to nothing. Will try to go for Spiderling kills, will miss everything, and will be walking away empty-handed, but it is just a clean kill for Lions. They do know that right now Roshan is being attempted by basically Unknown, but they can't really go in and contest it. Sentries on the ground, Slavi's hiding in the Roshan pit, melded up, but I think Era just killed off a couple more Spiderlings, and this is Unknown basically bleeding gold to Lions right now, and they're not getting much in response.
They're trying for the Roshan again. I've seen this story before. They're both going to get charged, and Slavi dusted up. Hanskin, however, getting bashed by Roshan as well as by the Faceless Void. Is going to be dropping low. However, with the Witch Doctor ultimate, the paralyzing cast between two, going to be a huge victory for the Witch Doctor, if nothing else. Silka, not just a double kill, and maybe even the Roshan after that. Zip away from the Storm Spirit is going to clean up a mop of Spiderlings as well. And now looking towards Magoma, pulling him back with the overload charge. It's going to be silenced up, but that's not going to help you much. He is still going to survive, and with the regeneration runes still going, is running with a full tank of absolutely everything. Roshan isn't the easiest of objectives for Lions to take, and it looks like even below half HP is still going to remain there.
That's a lucky break for Unknown for sure, but they just got completely wrecked by the Witch Doctor of all heroes. Like, the only hero on Lions without any sort of mobility, but he walks right into a perfect cask Death Ward situation, and Unknown, they literally could do nothing once the cask was thrown because they were silenced, they were stunned, they were everything, and they just couldn't move, and that's not really a good place to be in. So Unknown, they're going to be able to kill off Roshan perhaps eventually, but it won't be for free because Spirit Breaker is charging onto someone. It's going to be Slavi. This will also spot at mind control. This time there's a Chronosphere though, and this time Lions have to play this a little bit more safer, as Kefka's also on the high ground. Magoma, the front lines, looking for a Fire Blast. 8mother jumps right in. Chronosphere not being used just yet. Mind Control's getting pulled back and obliterated. Ira is going to hit with the Mystic Flare, though, making a 1-for-1 trade. Will buy back instantly. Slavi dropping very low. Handskin will get bashed by Roshan, I think, again. Slavi, with her fraction charges up, will survive Handskin's onslaught. Will turn around for the kill. In fact, now also 8mother will join the fight. Here comes Ira. Will try to go for Magoma. The damage from Storm should be high enough, but he's going to get silenced and very quickly brought down, I think. Yes, he will. 8mother is going to try to go for Slavi in the meantime. Refraction charge is going to be there, and the Templar Assassin will survive. 8mother will die to Zeroji as the Timbersaw going to jump up to the high ground. He will try to go for Slavi, but once again, it's going to be Refraction charges saving the day. Mind Control drops the Chronosphere, and it will be Unknown this time to take a 5-for-1 fight. 5-for-2. Faceless Void bought back into that, and that should be the end of it, but the Roshan is going to drop, and Unknown, I think, come out with the decisive lead here.
Yeah, it's 6-for-2, and then the buyback on the Faceless Void, so yeah, that was a dieback on the Storm Spirit Era. Although he was pretty close to his work before that fight, is now completely slowed down, and Unknown secure themselves the Aegis after the fact. It's a huge win for them. I don't think there's another way to chalk it up. Even though they've taken a couple of subpar engagements, the graph should just be straight downwards after that engagement. Already 4,000 gold in their favor, and that's not stopping anytime soon, and about the same in experience as well. That's a 5,000 swing in a matter of about a minute and a half.
Man, this is the type of Dota that I love. This is the type of Dota I'm pretty sure everyone loves. Just non-stop action. Got to play around those cooldowns. Got to play around value. Got to use your buybacks when you have them. It's certainly a treat for me to be seeing this, and I'm sure everyone is enjoying this as well. But for right now, Unknown, they're slowly starting to pull ahead in this game. With Lions' mobility, it is not out of the question that they are going to be able to come back and then some. However, they have to get good initiation, and so far that's not been happening. Jonathan on the bottom lane might be getting a face full of spiders, or it might be the Spirit Breaker. Kefka has so many freaking spiderlings right now. Whoever he decides to go for is going to be in heaps of trouble. He will spot the charge out from Handskin, and it's going to be going towards Slavi. The Spirit Breaker does not have enough power to kill off the Templar Assassin solo, though he sure as hell will try. With 8mother here, they will be able to kill off Slavi, especially with a couple of greater bashes and a coil. Slavi doesn't really have much hope here. He will be beaten down, but Kefka in the meantime going to kill off the Jonas and Timbersaw. Slavi will die in the end, making it a 1-for-1 overall. But here comes Mind Control jumping in. Chronosphere not available, but not needed either. Handskin is going to get bashed down. It's going to mean a 2-for-1 for Unknown. Maybe even a little bit more because Zeroji is running Intercept onto 8mother. Haste rune on 8mother though, that's not going to happen. So it will be just about the end of it, unless 8mother gets a little bit too overconfident. Is going to run, well, that Mystic Flare had 0% chance of landing. However, here comes the Broodmother. Spiderling injection, couple more hits, ignite. That's not the one that you want to have multicast, but 8mother might actually burn anyway. He will. Chronosphere, because, well, I mean, it gets a kill, I guess, so it's more kills for Unknown.
Victory Chronosphere. The Arcane Bolt would have done him in since he tried to phase shift dodge the Ignite, and ended up not working for him. Mind Control is going to put a lot of pressure on this Tier 1 tower, although that is glyphed. Unknown are just finding a little bit more in all of these exchanges. It really hasn't felt like Lions have won anything for quite some time. Storm Spirit still desperately needs his Orchid. They are going to find Mind Control in mid. He tries to time walk away. The Paralyzing Cast bounces forward, and Ira is going to be able to purge off that Aegis. They'll pull back Zeroji and bring him down. Now it's time for round 2 onto Mind Control with no time walk, and now getting bashed down, ulted by the face or by the Spirit Breaker, and that's going to be the end of his life. Unknown bit off a little bit more they can chew. Now look for more as the Broodmother is inside the jungle again with a huge Spiderling army.
But again, Lions show off that with their mobility, it is possible for them to get clean pickoffs because of strong initiation, and even Faceless Void with the Aegis wasn't enough to withstand that. Maybe if he had a Chronosphere available, he would have gotten a free pass out, so the Victory Chronosphere maybe not panning out for him in the end, but either way, it's still going to be Lions taking a couple more kills and getting a little bit closer to even in this game. And well, I don't really think there are any huge items that'll be breaking for them. Ira with his Orchid completed is going to be one of those items, but everything else on the Lion side going to be fairly linear. Maybe the Witch Doctor's Aghanim's ultimate is going to be the next tipping point, because he does have a Hand of Midas, but oh my god, Kefka just fed over a whole bunch of spiders over to Jonas and Fan. He's been farming in the background, Jonas and Fan, still not having a good game, 10 deaths to the Timbersaw's name, but if he keeps getting Spiderling farm like that, he could get a lot of gold up really quickly.
He definitely could, but still working towards the Bloodstone. He has the point booster and the excuse me, I'm not even sure what it's called, the Mana Stone, whatever, the blue one inside the Arcane Boots. But that's about it for Jonas Sunfan. Still having a really poor game, even though he has been able to mop up a couple of those Spiderling armies.
And eventually he's going to get to a point where he'll be a little bit more useful, but right now is when Timbersaw wants to be the most deadly hero on the map, but that's simply not the case. Broodmother inviting anyone to come down to the bottom lane. Whoever does take that invitation is going to get a face full of Spiderlings. And with Unknown also farming up their Void in the background, looking to be pretty comfortable in this game, except for the fact that Ira now has his Orchid. And this is going to be a surprise for the mid lane. He does see the web being created, so he knows exactly what's going on, but the charge is already out, and Mind Control is going to get silenced up immediately. The charge is going to connect as well. Mind Control, too fragile right now, is going to get greater bashed as well, because Hanskin is manipulating those chances. It's going to be a kill for Lions, and Ira is going to show off his Orchid and collect a kill off of it. Might not be for free. Bottom lane, Jonas and Fan converged upon, or is being converged upon, but it's a charge at the same time. Agoma is going to be engaged by Hanskin. This is a little bit too ambitious from the Spirit Breaker, though. He's going to fall back in the end, but more gold going for Jonas and Fan. Spiderlings fed every which way.
Yep, and Witch Doctor is going to mop up the last two. This Broodmother is picking up a lot of farm by being able to abuse the jungle as well as take quite a bit out of the lane, but still isn't doing much with it, it feels. They'll find Hanskin with the Orchid multicast 3 times. Yeah, that wasn't a happy place for the Spirit Breaker. He is going to be brought down. But still, this gold could probably be better spent on some of the other heroes on the side of basically unknown. BKB and Orchid on your Broodmother is nice, but it would probably be better to have a BKB complete on your TA or anything on this Faceless Void. He's been sitting on this Mask of Madness power treads for the longest time.
He will have a Maelstrom soon enough, but once he does get that one up, it's not like it's going to mean that he's immune to the charging and the ball lightning of Storm Spirit. He needs a BKB or something like that. I think realistically it will be a BKB for him, but that's very, very far away. He's been dying quite a bit as of late, though he's been getting a couple kills here and there as well. This Faceless Void really needs to either get a defensive item or just play things a lot more cautiously, and right now he's doing neither of those, so not a good space for Mind Control, though he is getting a little bit of farm. His Maelstrom might accelerate him to the point where he's going to get a BKB very quickly afterwards, but that's currently not the case. Kefka is going to be ambushing Seal Kid with a huge army of Spiderlings, popping the BKB, although feeding a lot of gold over to Jonas and Fan. Seal Kid will drop from this one, but with so much gold going towards 8 Mother and Jonas and Fan, I think that's actually worth it for Lions, basically redistributing their entire team's wealth. They're also going to get a charge into Kefka, and they will bring down this Broodmother if they have True Sight, and I think they do, yeah, Gem on 8 Mother. So Broodmother, definitely not worth it at this point.
Yeah, even if Broodmother didn't die, I think that's completely fine for Lions to lose a Witch Doctor, since he does have the Midas to keep up his gold. It would have been on cooldown, or off of cooldown while he's dying up towards top Orchid on a Magoma, but he makes it down to the low ground, not going to save you from Ira, with a double damage rune to boot, just way too much damage that Storm is pumping out. Unknown, they're leaking heroes left and right, and Lions, they're really capitalizing on this. They have a good lineup for it as well, just being able to pick off solo heroes very easily.
Yeah, their mobility is getting them so far. They're pretty much just playing it 0 heroes on the map, Then all of a sudden, there's 3 heroes on the map, coming out of the shadows, coming out of nowhere, and you're losing a hero if you're unknown. And that's the power of the mobility of Lions. They have the blink daggers, they have the ball lightning and the charges and the timber chains and everything they could possibly want. And unknown, they need perfect vision if they want to defend themselves against that. But we see the vision right now, it's pretty much 0. Hanskin going to get Chronosphered. However, Eul Scepter from 8 Mother going to save him from most of that damage. The ultimate from Skywrath Mage still being held, but Hanskin going to die anyway. That is a lot of amplified damage, and that is going to be the death of the Spirit Breaker. Clean kill for unknown, but they do use a Chronosphere less than ideal, and it's still not impossible for Lions to turn things around and take a fight thereafter. However, Ira is up towards top, so the likelihood of said fight is very low.
Yeah, well, for now, we're just kind of waiting for the next big cooldowns to be up. However, in mid, there is going to be Eul Scepter onto the Templar Assassin. Don't think they can turn for this kill, though they're sure as hell going to try with the Dream Coil spent. Slavy's more or less just going to be able to walk this one off, especially with the Chakra missing. Dream Coil did nothing.
Unfortunately, everyone else who could have helped was dead or on top lane. Ira was messing with top lane a little bit, so they need another hero that could actually do damage if they're going to kill off the Templar Assassin. Puck's damage output is relatively low and will be relatively low for the entirety of this game. They're going to wander through their jungle, clean out. Oh my god. That is a lot of gold. I think that's like the 4th or 5th time I've been disgusted at how much gold the Broodmother's been giving over to the Lion side, but it really is adding up.
It does. Like, I don't know, if you just look at the CS on Lion side, a lot of that Spiderlings, especially if you look at the Timbersaw, like, you wouldn't expect him to be having such a poor time as he is. He has his Bloodstone completed at 26 minutes in, which isn't bad by any means, but based on his early start, you wouldn't expect him to have 142. Hanskin stuck him in the high ground after charging the Broodmother is going to TP out cleanly.
Alright, so he gets to survive, but Roshan is also going to be respawning, and Kefka, because he's Broodmother, will spot that out perfectly. However, Lions with their mobility, it's really going to be difficult to say unknown have an edge in the Roshan pit. Yeah, they have the Broodmother who could dip over the cliffs, and they have a Faceless Void. Chronosphere is pretty darn good in the Roshan pit. Lions, they just have so many ways of manipulating the terrain and the high ground. It's going to be really difficult for unknown to sneak this Roshan. They're going to smoke up for now and maybe look for a massive team fight. That'll probably be the easiest way for them to take Roshan if they kill off the likes of Ira beforehand. Or Seal Kid. Seal Kid is also good, and Kefka can do this one by himself. I don't really know what the plan is right now for Seal Kid. That Observer Ward is going to cost him his life unless he straight TPs out and there's no reaction. In the meantime, the fight breaks out on the left side of the map. Mind Control is going to time walk into the fight. Hanskin already down, and the Magoma is going to be the trade. Chronosphere now onto the Puck. Where's the Puck? There he is. He's going to be killed off in a couple hits by Slavy. Jonas Van also silenced up by Brood and Zeroji. They're going to chase down this Timbersaw. He will take a fall. Is there anyone else in the area? Ira's going to try to go for Slavy, but taking way more damage than he's actually giving out. Here comes Kefka and Zeroji. Ira getting hit with a concussive. The cast going to slow him down, and now the Death Ward will instantly be canceled by Seal Kid. And now he's going to be run down. Ira's going to zip right back in, try to go for Slavy, but Mystic Flare will kill him off. Slavy is going to get out with just a little bit of HP. However, the charge, if it does impact, will get the kill. Here comes Hanskin, and there's nothing to interrupt this, but he will change his mind and go for Zeroji instead. He will get silenced, so he might not get either of them, and he won't, unless the Urn does it, which it might. Kefka, in the meantime, is running away from 8 Mother and Jonas Fan. He will be able to get up to the high ground, I believe. You know, he can't quite get there, and now he's stuck in a corner. Broodmother going to go down unless he gets bashed up to the high ground. Even then, doesn't matter. I think unknown, they do take yet another team fight win. Lions taking it a little bit too scattered for their liking.
Puck does survive throughout all of that, however, because the Storm Spirit jumped in. Probably not worth it, but Storm Spirit might have died either way, so it's fairly even. It's 3 for 4 plus a buyback on the Spirit Breaker, but honestly, Spirit Breaker buying back doesn't really mean much. He is going to be going for Vlad's for his team, which is a worthy pickup, even though they don't have anybody to abuse the lifesteal. It also doesn't matter much. Timbersaw, in the meantime, however, is going to be dropped very low. The Meld Strike is going to kill him outright, but he will die by that Meld Strike. They get the ultimate off on the Slavy from the Spirit Breaker, trying to bash him down, just not doing enough damage between these two heroes, and it looks like Slavy might be able to escape. BKB is wearing off, but he's well under his tower, and now has a little bit of turning potential on 8 Mother. Silence up Mystic Flare is going to be avoided by the Eul Scepter. Now 8 Mother, with the help of the Spirit Spirit Breaker looking for the kill on Slavi that's been wanting for quite a long time and will be able to blow him up as Refraction wears off. Zeroji dusted up as well as Maledicted, but no further damage into the Skywrath Mage is going to keep him alive. Fire Blast by Hanskin, Iron Tower is going to charge short range into Magoma, and with the Witch Doctor ultimate, it's not going to be very long because of the Chronosphere onto 3. Gem on the deck is going to be secured, but now a long pull into Mind Control outside of the Chronosphere is going to drop that gem again, secured by the Spirit Breaker. They are going to orc it up. Ira still surviving, however, and now looking for a turn. This fight just won't end. Zipping onto the sidelines, obliterates the Skywrath Mage. Ira's still surviving, now charging into Kefka. They will bash him up, but don't do any damage. He pops the ultimate, and that's going to be enough to force them back. But once the BKB's off, Ira might be able to jump forward. They obliterate all 12 or so of those Spiderlings. That's going to be even more gold in the pockets of Lions. And I think it's a one fight for them? Question mark.
I have no clue, but what I do know is that this is like my favorite game of all time. This game is just not going to stop ever, and I love it. Lions are going to get a lot of value off of this Bloodstone from Jonas Van eventually, if the Timbersaw is to survive. I'd like to see Urns and these really cost-effective, cheap items from either side. Urn is up on Spirit Breaker plus Vlads. This is the type of build that you really want if you're going to be skirmishing this much this early on, and I would say so far the game is still relatively even. The gold maybe slightly in favor of Unknown Experience though, slowly drawing to 0, but Lions just have so much synergy in their mobility that they're going to be able to get out from under a 5,000 gold deficit, especially if they go for Mind Control right now. Silenced up to start things off. He's going to be hit with Chakram and obliterated by Timbersaw. More charges for him. Hanskin's also continuing the charge down towards bottom lane where he sees Kefka. True Sight is on the Spirit Breaker, and Kefka's going to hit with another strike, and Ira's going to jump in for good measure. That's a double kill for Jonas Van. More charges for him, and a whole bunch of Spiderlings. Oh, Spirit Breaker unfortunately wasn't there. But still Unknown, now down 2 heroes, cannot contest this Roshan. It's not going to be fast for Lions because they don't have Roshan killing heroes, but it's free, so they might as well take it.
Timbersaw found the Brood Mother Spiderlings. I mean, we talk about it all the time in this game, but it is very impactful. Like, that's at the very least 100 Spiderlings. Timbersaw's now the highest CSing hero in this game at 197, and it's not reflected in his gold because Spiderlings don't mean as much per Spiderling, but that's probably like 70 CS of Spiderlings at the very least for Jonas Van that he would have had in any other game.
And that is just going to translate into an Ogre Club for now, probably BKB in his future. Slight chance for an Aghanim Scepter, although that's probably a little bit down the line. It's going to be an Aegis in the end for Lions as they collect a couple of kills, an army of Spiderlings, and a Roshan, so getting all sizes of kills right there. Storm Spirit all alone in the middle lane. This is the type of play that Lions have to really avoid if they're going to be taking this game. Sure, use up all your mana, Lions. Why not? But they have a regen rune now in the Storm Spirit. They're sitting pretty. For the Unknown side, they have a couple of big pickups right now. Desolator on Slavi, and met by an Aghanim Scepter on Puck. I would say Desolator a little bit more scary on the Templar Assassin. This Templar Assassin has been doing quite a lot of work, but I think it's mostly because Lions have been engaging her with the wrong heroes.
Just what that
Ira, I think he just bought a bottle in order to get that regeneration rune. Or maybe that was his bottle from earlier. I don't think he had a bottle earlier. He just bought that, actually. And then the regeneration rune turns into a bounty rune at the 32-minute mark. Very unfortunate for him.
Well, sucks to be the Storm Spirit, but still he, I guess, now has a bottle, and that's not a terrible item to have on Storm Spirit. I'm pretty sure he had it before. Yeah, he definitely had it before, but it was just like on the courier or something, so at least that's all I'm going to say. Ira is now on the hunt. He's going to find Zeroji. Nope, overshoots him. Maybe he's just waiting for Witch Doctor to come in, but he's going to go for Zeroji. Gets 4-staffed out. No multicast from Magoma, at least not a useful one. Zeroji is pretty much screwed right now. No outrunning the Storm Spirit. It's not possible. And that will be a clean kill for Ira. Unfortunately, Jonas Van not there to collect some Bloodstone, but that's fine because with the Skywrath Mage down, this represents an opportunity for Lions to go for a push or more fighting. Really, Lions, they're good at fighting. They're really not good at anything else. They're going to go for Slavi. BKB is going to be needed if he's going to survive, but even then, his survival is by no means guaranteed. Physical right-click damage, it's peanuts. And here comes Ira with a little bit more physical right-click damage, but a Chronosphere onto 5. Where's the follow-up? Zeroji's going to land a Mystic Flare onto an Illusion of Puck, doing literally no damage. Now Michael's going to get turned around upon Steel Kid, channeling his ultimate for all it's worth, going on to 1, now onto Magoma and Zeroji. They're both caught in the coil. They can't snap it, else they face an Aghanim Puck upgrade. That's going to be a 3-for-0 after getting 5-man chronoed. Unknown, if they had like any big AoE ultimate. If they had the Witch Doctor on their team, that would have been a clean sweep, but instead Lions turned it around.
Even a 5-man Chronosphere with no follow-up, still a pretty crappy Chronosphere. They just didn't have the damage, which is super unfortunate. Scarlet Mage Mystic Flare usually is guaranteed kill. Charge down towards bottom. Gonna counter push a little bit up against the Broodmother, but they're going to get a tier 2 tower after this and maybe even put some pressure onto high ground. Unknown are down for the count for 20 seconds here.
And Ira still has his Aegis, so if he does feel inclined, he could just YOLO dive Slavi right now and, you know, maybe not come out ahead, but he will definitely be able to do something. They're going to burn through Fortification. Where is the Storm Spirit going? He's going to go for Kefka, forcing out the BKB, and then they're going to cleanly disengage. Hanskin, though, getting into a fist fight with TA, not the fight he wants to be taken. He doesn't have an Aegis. He's going to be going down. Ira going to try to kill off Slavi, but he has to ball lightning out. Gem on the deck will be grabbed by Kefka. Seal Kid going to turn around for a cast. Slavi, though, in the BKB is going to go to town on Seal Kid, obliterate him in just a couple of hits. Ira and 8 Mother with their mobility will be able to survive. Unknown, they hold their high ground. Bring the tier 3 down to about half HP. Not really going to matter too much in the long run. But Lions, they're doing pretty well in this game, especially Jonas Fan, who's going to collect a couple more Spiderlings. That's another 4 or 5 for himself right there. And BKB travels and help on Jonas Fan. This game is still not out of reach for Unknown. They have all the damage. They just have to make sure that it all lines up properly.
Yeah, and that's really the question. It was Lions to stick around a little too much on that high ground push, in particular the Spirit Breaker. Storm Spirit, his Aegis, although it's currently sitting in his inventory, probably isn't going to be used for anything since that is going to time out in about 50 seconds. So Lions, a little bit of a missed opportunity there. Templar Assassin is increasingly scarier as this game progresses, as she starts picking up some pretty major items. Even though the Broodmother items don't really seem to be doing much, it is enough to force out Jonas Sinfan on the bottom lane. But, I don't know, it still could be either team's game. It's really no decisive victory towards either side. If you take a look at the golden experience graphs, about 3,000 gold in the favor of Lions, experience is 8,000 in their favor, but still nothing damning for either side.
Yeah, Unknown with their damage can certainly bring it back. All they need is to get a stun on Ira or someone like that. If they land a Mystic Flare, if they land a Fire Blast that's multicasted, hell, it doesn't even have to be multicasted, then they'll be able to take a nice win, and this is a nice time to do it. Ira and Seal Kid walking up to the high ground, see Mind Control, and they will make a jump, but this is not going to be the best jump for them. They will block the Fire Blast with the Lincoln Sphere. Now into Mind Control they go with the ultimate from Hanskin, plus the Witch Doctor. Mind Control down, and here comes Jonas Fan for good measure onto Magoma as well. That's 2 for 0, as they also will go for Zeroji. That's going to be 3 for 0. Beautiful initiation from the Lions. I would expect nothing less from a team with this much mobility. They're going to clean up big, and they're going to not lose anything in the process. Kefka going to try to go for a push down towards bottom, but Jonas and Fan, he's ready and waiting. There's 1,700 gold on the Timbersaw right now, and how much will there be after? A hell of a lot more. Suddenly up to 2,300. That is just disgusting. And now he's going to force Kefka out. Charges coming through, which will do nothing, but I guess Tower also helping out there. So he got about 400 gold from that. Pretty well done, I would say, for a couple of mana points spent.
Yeah, especially when you have 12 charges up in your Bloodstone, mana really doesn't mean anything to Jonas Unfan. He's able to freely spam his spells, clear out these creep waves, and what have you. Lions probably can't go fully for high ground, but getting a tier 3 tower and finishing what they started in mid is a good way back into this game. They're currently sitting at the top of the net worth chart with the Storm Spirit sitting on 4,000 gold on his already completed Lincoln Sphere as well as his Orchid, and they're just getting more out of these initiations than Unknown are. The Chronosphere, although it's a really useful tool to have, just hasn't been able to do anything. Inside the Chrono, Mind Control doesn't do hardly any damage for this point in the game. It's 37 minutes, and he has a Mask of Madness as well as Maelstrom as his effective damage, and that just doesn't cut it.
He really needs like an Invoker or someone like that on his team. Scarith Mage is good for killing off one guy when you don't Mystic Flare and Illusion, but outside of that, they need some sort of massive AoE skill. And that's just not in the cards. Templar Assassin, the dream is, of course, you line them all up in a row and then you kill them all in one hit. The odds of that happening next to 0. But yeah, this Faceless Void, he's fallen off quite a bit. He now has 10 deaths, has been getting pretty much nothing done because he's always been initiated upon. He still does not have that BKB that I was talking about, like, what, at the 20-minute mark or something like that. And because he doesn't have that item, he's just constantly going to be at the mercy of Lion's Initiation. And speaking of Lion's Initiation, Spirit Breaker, he sees someone. It's going to be Mind Control getting initiated upon first. Jonas Fan misses the Timber Chain forward. Mind Control has a chance to turn things around. Chronosphere onto 2, and he will be able to put some damage on 8 Mother. I don't know if he's going to have enough to kill him off. In fact, he runs away. Hansigan going to get it full Mystic Flare to his face, but here comes Ira. Will obliterate Mind Control. Now going on to Zeroji and Magoma both. They're going to take down the Skywrath Mage. Now Ogre up into the air will land into a Chakram, be blended. That's going to be a double kill for Ira. The same exact 3 hero kill for the Lions side, and they're still in the top lane, pretty much the exact same kill as last time. And now they have a Death Ward, Aghanim by Witch Doctor. They're going to, actually, Ira's going to start fighting Slavi. It's not a fight that he should be taking, but if all of the Lions heroes go towards mid or go towards top, they should be getting something, at the very least, a buyback from Void. They might even get a courier, and they will. So, whole bunch of creep kills, whole bunch of Spiderling kills, now a courier, and now range Raxes. Unknown, they are not looking too good right now, especially since Kefka, his split push attempt is being shut down cold by Jonas and Fan.
Yeah, this time around his Broodlings do survive, but the melee barracks in mid, not long for this world. The Glyph delays this push, but it's going to be the first line of barracks, all in favor of Lions. This Broodmother was doing her best to try to split push and still is, but just can't accomplish anything. Getting Blue to travel on this Timbersaw is so incredibly useful for Lions. Just making sure he's pretty much everywhere at the same time is going to have a completed sight device flying out on the courier, and at that point Kefka needs to be incredibly careful. If there's a charge coming in like now and they get the sight through, could be the end of Broodmother's life. She gets the BKB off before then, but the physical damage might be enough. They cancel the TP with the Spirit Breaker ulti, and Kefka is completely screwed. That's a Bloodstone charge not only for the Timbersaw but also for Ira.
And the Sheepstick for the Timbersaw. They also collected her entire army in the process. I don't really know how many Spiderlings that was, but rest assured it was a hell of a lot of gold going into the pockets of Lions. The rest of Unknown looking for a little bit of revenge. They have the Chronosphere, they have a Templar Assassin who's really freaking stacked with a Daedalus completed, and they do have the jump right now. Jonas Fan and Mother both getting hit with the Chronosphere. Mystic Flare this time into the real Puck, and Jonas Fan also is going to take a fall. They sequence the kills correctly so that the Puck doesn't get healed by the Bloodstone, and they grab a gem. A nice little win there from Unknown, but is it going to be good enough? I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the question. Roshan is available for them, but they can't take it very easily. But is it going to transition into a high ground push? I don't think so. But yeah, this is your Aegis and Cheese going their way.
Roji is going to teleport back, will not be cancelled by the Witch Doctor, but in the meantime, Storm Spirit is killing off the base of Unknown, is going to ball ending forward for Zeroji. In fact, there's no Chronosphere here, but Zeroji's already dead. Gem on the deck now. Mind Control is going to get silenced thereafter. Pops the cheese, which he just picked up, but he might die anyway. Ira's damage is so huge with double damage, is going to get 2 kills. Now thinking about the gem, will grab it. Magoma, the next challenger, approaches, but this is not really a challenger. This is only support Ogre, and Ira has all the mana in the world. Buyback from Mind Control and from Zeroji. They will kill off Ira in the end. He's going to be down for a little while, but with that reduced cooldown, a level 25 hero is going to be up in just another 40 with travels. That was very expensive for Unknown.
It definitely was. Not sure if that dive by the Storm Spirit was warranted, but forcing out the buyback from Faceless Void definitely is very useful for them. They do have the Chronosphere, but that Cheese and Aegis just didn't accomplish anything for Unknown. Yeah, not much else really needs to be said. Usually getting Roshan is a direct translation into you taking objectives, but this game, not so much. Lions were able to put a lot of pressure up and towards top, and even though they lose the Storm, he's back in only 5 seconds before they even put any pressure onto a tower.
Now Lions, their Storm Spirit, I'm assuming, is going to rejoin the fight up towards top. Travels on the Timbersaw means they could juggle who goes up to the top lane, who goes down towards bottom to defend against Kefka, and be fine pretty much no matter what the situation may be. It's still 1 Rax in favor of Lions, though Unknown with such a stacked TA. The game's never really out when you have a hero with this much damage, but it just seems like Lions, like, their mobility is making all that damage count for nothing. It's like, yeah, you could kill us if you hit us, but good luck hitting us. We're just never going to give you that chance. And over towards bottom, the Broodmother has made her home for herself, but this Spiderling push is just not going anywhere. And even if it does go somewhere, it's going to mean a lot more gold for Lions. And I don't want to say that the Broodmother Spiderling feed has been the reason why Unknown are in this position, but it's certainly helping out for Lions.
Oh yeah, especially for the Timbersaw. I think he's the real winner when it comes to that. 401 CS on Timbersaw, are you kidding me? That's almost exclusively Spiderlings. Like, there's no way he's farming at anti-mage level right now.
Yeah, that's going to skew at the statistics, I'm sure, but still, he's getting quite a bit of cash off of this, and he has a sheep stick now. No true sight here, unless they do have true sight. Yes, Kefka is going to snap the coil right next to a death ward. Rip in peace, Broodmother. No chance that he gets out of this one. Man, you don't really see coil Aghanims after be relevant like that, but it was, and they're going to try to go for ear up in the meantime. He's going to burn half of his mana pool to get himself halfway across the map, and he also has a regen rune. You're not going to catch Era like that. Broodmother's down for another 72 seconds, and Lions, they are going to push down this bottom lane tier 2. This one should be conceded by Unknown, as it's kind of pointless to defend, but either way, it's more gold going the way of Lions, and Unknown, they're losing more and more map control. They also have to worry about Era up towards top. It feels like they just don't have enough heroes right now. They need 2 more heroes to defend all of this. They
definitely do, and I don't know, even if they add all of their heroes, defending's still going to be quite a task for them to do. Timbersaw is the only one that's not close that can't be there immediately, or I suppose he can be with the BOCE3 travel, so it actually doesn't matter. He's currently sitting on a complete Aghanims after the damage from Timbersaw just went through the roof. Storm Spirit pushing up towards top has BOCE3 travel of his own, as well as more than enough mana to pretty much zip from here to bottom lane.
And then back again, just because he can. Like, he has so much mana regen. This is a really big Storm Spirit, and he has another 4,000 gold in the bank as well. So if he wants to go for a sheep stick, he can get majority of that. Now they have a Halberd on Spirit Breaker. Taking a look at the BKB timers, well, there's 0 seconds of magic immunity for the Void. There is 6 seconds now on the Templar Assassin. Once that wears out, Heaven's Halberd is so crippling. After that, Templar Assassin can literally do nothing for the team except for lay down a couple of psionic traps. And as nice as those are, it's not going to be winning you any fights anytime soon. Lions, they're going to fall back, which is maybe a good decision. They're going to let Unknown creep upwards into the map and then collapse upon them one more time. So going up high ground is definitely the most difficult part of Lions' draft, since, again, they don't really have any pushing heroes. They don't really have many good right-click heroes either. But as long as they get the pickoffs, then they're going to be A-okay, and that's what they're waiting for. They're waiting for Unknown to just get one step too far out of their base.
And right now, Lions, they have Unknown completely bottled up inside their base. Usually, Broodmother is going to be comfortable pushing out alone. That's just not the case. Broodmother, after a really nice start, has just died one too many times, and Kefka hasn't been able to accomplish much of anything. Lions, Storm Spirit pushing up towards top, puck down towards bottom. They can switch around these heroes left and right, farm up the entire jungle, and as soon as the smallest of openings is available to them, Unknown are going to be defending high ground. It's going to be a hard defense at that. Roshan might be the next objective that they're waiting for. Didn't exactly see when the Roshan timer is going to be up, but still going to be quite some time before that's available for them. Even though they don't have the greatest quote-unquote late-game heroes, and Unknown on even farm footing would be doing well because the Faceless Void is so abysmally under-farmed. They just can't do much.
And I think at this point it's time for Lions to think about going into a little bit more of a pushing kind of fighting itemization route. Assault Cuirass would be fantastic as a nice mixed damage and survivability item. Even for Era, going for a damage item like an MKB or a Daedalus, or a Desolator actually, would be amazing on the Storm Spirit. Not exactly the item that you would think of on the hero, but he has right now 2 boots, so 1 for each foot, probably not going to be the best way to play the game. If he gets any sort of plus damage item, then killing off the buildings is going to be that much easier for Lions, and someone's got to do that.
Yeah, I think Desolator is decent, as is Daedalus. I'd like to see Monkey King Bar, but yeah, I don't think it really matters. Era is going to be stacked really soon. Even if he goes for the standard Scythe, his right-click damage is still going to be significant, especially if he can find himself another double damage rune, which I think is the best rune for Storm Spirit. Even though regeneration is fun and all, you're working with 180 base damage right now. It can get really ridiculous.
Well, right now, Lions are just farming up pretty much everything right now. They have complete control of their own jungle. Hanskin is farming that up, losing no HP in the process because of Vlads. They're farming the enemy jungle, and they're pushing out the lanes at the same time because of Storm Spirit's mobility. The Seal Kid is going to get revealed. He will blink away from that Ignite. He's going to be A-okay, and Mind Control is going to run to Era. Chronosphere onto the Storm Spirit. There is a Hex onto Mind Control. Mystic Flare. Era's still surviving. Now going to get silenced. He has the rest of a Haste Rune to get himself out of there. First hit bash, though. Mind Control will get the kill, but the Death Ward from Seal Kid going to tear through a couple as Double Chakram now up. Zeroji going to get hit very hard by this one. As soon as they're pulled back, that's going to be Death to Scarth Mage. Era's back from the dead. Bought back into this fight and will kill off one. Now going on towards Kefka, who's going to fight to the death versus Hanskin. Might get this kill, but is certainly going to lose his life for it. Won't even get Hanskin. Broodmother's the last survivor for Unknown. They have no buybacks on anyone except for for the Broodmother. They only picked off Ira there. This looks like it's going to be the end of Unknown's run as Lions. They're going to just breach the top lane. They're going to clean up, once again, just like old times, a whole bunch of Spiderlings over towards the mid lane. And Unknown, they're going to be facing down 2 lanes of super creeps, maybe even 3 once everyone rotates down there. They're going to call GG, and that's it. Lions are going to be moving on.
Yeah, the difference between the team fights from both sides is, I don't know, just day and night. Stormstrid had buyback phase, this boy did not, and he was able to join the fight again, completely wrecked house with his second life. That first life lasted for a lot longer than it honestly should have. He was inside the Chronosphere, inside a full duration Mystic Flare, was silenced and still almost made it out, and that speaks volumes to the amount of advantage the Alliance had made for themselves. I quite like this game. It was a lot of fun to watch, and I'm glad we got to see Spiritbreaker actually accomplish something after a subpar early game.
Alright guys, that is going to close it out for us for today. Lions are going to be moving on in the Battle of Central Europe 3. They are going to be moving up against Virtus Pro Polar tomorrow at 20:30 CET, so mark your calendars. That is how it's going to be going down. Outside of that, well played to Unknown, aka Aftershock, as they have been known for this tournament. They've had a really great run, and they've thoroughly impressed me. Looking forward to seeing more of them in the future, but 20:30 CET, we're going to be right back here tomorrow, guys, for Lions versus Virtus Pro Polar. I'm Mike Loris. I've been joined by Grandis V. We hope you enjoyed the casting. If you did, make sure to follow HeflaTV on Twitter and Facebook. It's all that at HeflaTV. The VODs will be up on youtube.com/HeflaMoke in a matter of hours. If you want to follow us personally, you can find me at Mike Loris at Twitter. You can follow my co-caster at Grandis V on Twitter as well. And that is just about it for us for the day. Take care, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.